back with another edition of CenterKick Weekend Review, and I remain your host, Akaneing James. AJ, how are you doing today?
Well, it was nice. I mean, looking at the angle of football, obviously, my teams, most of them disappointed, most of them played well. I think it started from Madrid. I didn't see that loss to Valencia coming. Barca now pushing the point gap to 4 points in La Liga. I really, for me, I've conceded it. So I'm not like a full-fledged Madrid fan. It's just some effect of Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
But I think obviously they always have a major in the Champions League. So on Madrid's hand, they lost. On Pirates' hand, Pirates won. They beat Polokwane City 1-0. Closing ground on that title race. Chelsea had a goalless draw. I don't know how they keep doing that. Aqua United, they lost lost that unbeaten run they had in the league. Well, so long that lasted. It was a good period of time. And then Al-Nassr beat Al Hilal for the first time, I think, since Ronaldo came to the Saudi Pro League. And he scored twice in that game. I think the 963 goals or thereabout now. He's scoring for fun these days, and he's still going strong. So I think everyone did well, except Aqua United and Real Madrid. They did the only season that lost. Everyone else had a draw or they won their game. So I think 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. I think was fairly okay for me the weekend.
All right. I had a blissful weekend last week. But let's start. How are you doing this week? What are your
expectations?
Expectations for
There's
this
a lot
week?
to look forward to. I mean, starting from the CAF Champions League, that's my major concern. I've got we've got no Nigerian team.
Yeah,
But we have 8. Yeah, we have 8 other teams on the continent. Trying to steal the spotlight. 8 on the Confederations Cup, 8 in the Champions League. But from the Champions League, is my perspective. I think Paris. I'm looking forward to them against MC Algiers. The second leg is going to be at Orlando Stadium. I won an aggregate lead from the first game of course, in Algeria, where Mohamed Nkot scored the first goal and the only goal in the game. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do this time around. And that's one. And secondly, obviously, in the Champions League as well. Madrid and Arsenal, Aston Villa, Paris Saint-Germain. PSG have won the title as well, by the way, in France. For the first team to do so this season in the Europe Top 5 League. So there's so much to look forward to. But I think on the African point of view, it's the Champions League I'm looking forward to. And looking forward to see what Sundowns can do against Tunis away, Esperance. And, what Paris can do. Yeah, I'm talking about Sundowns. They're going away to play Esperance of Tunis in Tunisia. But Paris plays South Africa, so I want to see what they can do against MC Algiers. I'm expecting them to win. I think everyone's expecting them to win. They won away. So capitalize on that effort to, add more goals and win the entire aggregates.
All right, so let's start off with our players. The Super Eagles players playing abroad. Osimhen had a blissful weekend last week. Yeah.
I think he always does that.
The club is through to the semi-finals in the Turkish league.
The only problem is that it comes at the expense of Mourinho. Because, most of us are big supporters of Mourinho. And we've adored him a period of time. I saw clips of him yesterday in the Champions League in 2010 with Inter, and before that with Chelsea. He's been that manager that's gotten results when people never gave him a chance. Mourinho is a big name, obviously, but his time in football might be coming to an end little by little. And I think as an Nigerian, it's only fair that it's Victor Osimhen who's doing that. We never doubted the quality of a player he is. He scores goals in angles you never expect him to do so. And very composed in the ball, very productive, very clinical. Singing praises can be done all day, but I think this is something we're used to. And we're just happy that he's one of those players that, reproduces this productivity in the national team. He doesn't just do it for his club; he does it for the country as well. And I think we can't stop talking about how good he is. And hopefully they win the Turkish Cup.
Just a quick, let me get your perception from Mourinho's reaction to the Galatasaray's coach. What do you make of that reaction that he had at the end of the game?
Mourinho's always a drama man. I mean, he's always bringing life to the game.
King of Tears, why?
Yes.
Or the crying king?
Well, I just in the special one. Special one has special drama. Remember when he came to England, first of all, he just said, I'm the special one. That alone puts more spotlight on you. If you have Mourinho, I think after football, you should go into movies. He has that attention. He has that aura. He has that reason for you to want to tune in. Because he's always going to do something on the touchline. Now he's been banned. He's been banned, but they still find a way to play without him. So, I said things in the past before that make him go viral. Calling Wenger a failure, I prefer not to speak, and all of those things. Football heritage. He said so many things in the past. Mourinho, this is not the first time he's been in the camera. So he's always he's someone for the camera.
He loves attention.
Exactly. And I think what compliments him is that he's a very good manager. So he's not just anybody who just wants to be in the news. He deserves to be in the news. And I think he's still giving it to us, even if he's not in the big
So
big
you would
five.
say that bad PR is still PR at the end of the day?
Publicity is bad publicity, or bad publicity is good publicity anyhow. Publicity is publicity.
Okay, let's
At
talk
least
about...
people now talk about Fenerbahce more.
Let's talk about Nwabali. Yes, our first
This is
choice
9 clean
goalkeeper.
sheets this season.
Yeah, he had the Man of the Match award against Golden Arrows.
The one thing I like about him at Chippa United is that he doesn't let the fact that he's not playing for a big team limit his productivity. Lamont Golden Arrows is a big team. I think they didn't knock them out. It was a league game. Yeah, Lamont v Golden Arrows beat Kaiser Chiefs. I remember 2-1, and I think irrespective of how struggling Chiefs have been doing this season and the last probably 10 years, you still have to put it to the fact that they are a big team, and the fact that Golden Arrows did beat Kaiser Chiefs shows that they have some quality in that squad. But they couldn't score a single goal against Chippa United because Nwabali was in goal.
Yeah.
And obviously, there's a reason he's the Super Eagles number one. We know what he can do, and when he turns up, and I love the fact that when he wins his awards, he's out and out about it on social media to ensure that you know that this is what I'm doing. Not like, okay, I'm just there. No, it's no PR for me. Then no, he takes the PR into his own arms, and I think we, as Africans, we need to embrace our leagues more, not just in our Nigerian league. That's why on social media, I'm not just talking about Nigeria. I'm talking about the South African league. If it's a chance to talk about the Ghanaian league, the Zimbabwean league, the Zambian league, you have to know what's going on. I think Africa should have a big five as well.
Yeah.
Europe has got a big five: Premier League, Serie A, La Liga, Bundesliga, Ligue 1. In the big five in Africa, we should have the MPFL, obviously, probably the South African Premier Soccer League.
Are you sure the MPFL?
I think it's an MPFL. But Nigerians, you have to put it there.
Okay.
In 2022, we were ranked higher than the Scottish League, and we still have a number of talent even Nigeria to Europe every single season. So, in terms of talent, we are there. Maybe the league is not all of that yet, but in terms of talent, we are there in raw talent. MPFL, maybe not number one. This is no particular order. Nigerian League, South African Premier Soccer League, obviously the Egyptian League must be there.
Yeah.
And you have to put the rest of the leagues must be from the north as well still.
Okay, yeah.
So apart from the MPFL, the Egyptian League and the Premier Soccer League still, the Tunisian League kind of put it there, and the Moroccan League as well.
The discussion around Madukal Koye being better than Nwabali, what would you say about that?
I think first of all, one thing that Pesero did give to us is that he gave us that solution we've been looking for. Madika was there. I think unfortunately for him, he had one error that just really gave him a big issue. I don't know if you noticed, but most of the Super Eagles goalkeepers that have been there in the post-Vincent Yama era always had one game, one huge error that completely just ruined their entire reputation. We've seen that one game with Nwabali yet. We've not. Even if Nwabali makes little mistakes, he just does things that you don't like. It's typical of a goalkeeper, but I don't think there's one game that you say, this game, I didn't like him as a goalkeeper. We saw the AFCON final. You would think that people would produce that because we lost the game, but no, it wasn't his fault. You probably call Ola Aina and the manager for not making changes early. You won't see somebody pinpointing Nwabali saying, he's the reason Nigeria didn't win the AFCON. And ever since then, he's been consistent. I think this is 2 years now. This should be 1 year completely now in Super Eagles career. He's still there. I don't compare. I don't contrast. I appreciate both of them.
Yeah.
I think Okoye tried his best. I don't think he was given all the time because it was one game against Tunisia, wasn't it? And he couldn't parry the ball away when he sacked me shot from the AFCON 2022 quarterfinals. Was it round of 16? Yeah, that game against Tunisia that we went out. I don't think they gave him enough time. I think the pressure pushed him out a bit, but he came back. And I think for number 2, he's good enough. He didn't do himself any good when he considered two against Benin. I don't think it was Rwanda. Yeah, it was Rwanda when Nwabali didn't play.
Okay.
We lost the game 2-1. But I mean, for the fact that your ammunition, your arsenal is expandable, you have quality. Yeah, I think for the fact that it's good headache to have, but don't touch Nwabali is number 1. He's the number 1. It's about that composure, and Nigerians can trust him as goalkeeper. Yeah.
Let's talk about Kelechi Iheanacho. He had a brace that actually aided Middlesbrough win against the Blackburn Rovers.
I'm somebody who admires Kelechi Iheanacho a lot.
Brace of an assist, goals,
But he did score before that.
He scored.
I think, obviously, I've always admired Kelechi Iheanacho a lot. I think I admire him because he's unique in his style of play. He reminds me of Christopher Nkunku. Is he a striker? Is he number 10? Is he a winger? You can't tell. But put him on the ball and put him in a team that understands the way he plays. He'll perform. That's what he did at Leicester. Kept playing, kept producing as a number 10, as a winger, as a false 9, as a number 9. He was scoring. He was giving the goals. He was giving the assists. Taking him to Sevilla. They haven't understood the way he plays yet. They haven't quite, churned up the way he wants to play. That's why he couldn't start games. That's why he couldn't feature in games. Now I'm going to Middlesbrough. I think Michael Carrick is the manager. He has looked at the way he played at Leicester and tried to reinterpret that to the way that he would be able to, fit into the Middlesbrough setup in the Championship. So you have to play to the taste of a player to get the best out of the player. We looked at him at Leicester. Can you really say this season Iheanacho was a striker? I think the first time they took him to City, he made his name as somebody who plays behind a striker and can also be around the box, a fox in the box kind of player. You don't put him on the wing, 100%. He won't give it that.
Yeah.
I think at the AFCON in 2022 as well, when Nigeria went there, that game against Egypt, Iheanacho was playing more of a number 10 role. Just it was a 4-4-2 for Eguavon, but it was in that number 2. He was still behind the other strikers. Yes, so yeah, exactly. So more of a number 10. When he made his name on the under 17 for Nigeria, he was more of a creating player. So that's what he's supposed to be doing, not just being a striker. And I think that talent is still there. But the question that's lingering in everyone's mind is he still Super Eagles quality? If he can walk his form up there again, he must be.
I feel considering now, his age, people are like, so why is still inviting?
He's not that old. It's not that old. I mean, Ekong is still there. I think Ndidi is still probably there as well.
And also, people are doubting his contribution to the team aside of the
That's the thing. You are a new generation. If you're doubting the quality and the contribution of Kelechi Iheanacho to this team, then you're a new generation Super Eagles supporter. You have to be there. There's a reason why people see Akpem Musa in the squad and then they don't want to see him there. Maybe because they are the new generation. He's old. Why is he there? Maybe he's not playing for a big club because they're used to seeing Super Eagles players being called from huge clubs around the continent of Europe. So if you're not someone that's been there, see what Musa has done for Nigeria at the World Cup, the AFCON.
You would doubt his color.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what his best years used to look like, and you don't want to see him on the pitch. So I've seen Kelechi Iheanacho play. I've seen him score Super Eagles goals. I've seen him give us performances. I've seen him, and I think he still has it in him, but he has to prove to us that he can still be that player that we have to call up. Because at the moment, obviously, the most in-demand position for Nigeria is that forward place. There's a lot of names out there every single season. Yeah. What saves Iheanacho is that he's not an out-and-out striker.
Yeah.
He plays from the wings, plays at number 10, somewhat, put him in that squad. He find himself starting shirt. But he's not that player that can contend for Cyril Desers, Gibbs Orban, or Rocco Dare, Osimhen, Boniface, Sadiq Umar. He's not that number 9. But he's a forward player, and he can probably help us sometimes in the wing, sometimes just in between. And just give that chemistry. Him, Chukwueze, whoever is playing there, Simon, squad player, that's what it's called. And I think for now, just find your feet again, and he can be a player again in the future for us.
So I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't say out of pride, but I know and I believe that the likes of Ademola Lookman is of great influence to the team Atlanta in the Serie A. Of course, they lost to Dele Bashiru's in the last game because of a mix-up in substitution.
Yeah, I think I saw a story as well.
The coach had come off to say at the end of the match that he wasn't supposed to be substituted.
Yeah, the thing is, when your downfall has been plotted, it starts like that. It doesn't help. It doesn't help the situation anymore.
But it affected the team entirely.
No, what I'm saying is, this probably would have come off of something like a joke.
Because it would have been a joke. Names? The names are just so different.
Let me land. This would have come out as a joke, understandable as a joke, and it would have passed if what happened in the Champions League didn't happen, if that whole drama didn't happen. But now people won't buy the story.
Yeah, they won't buy
people will say it's disaster control.
Yeah.
So unless you really think, it's not that much, and then you understand that you wouldn't do that, then you wouldn't look too deep into it. But I'm telling you, Nigerians have looked deep into the story. People don't buy it. They say it's just BS. Yeah. People are saying he's making it up because they lost the game. If they'd have won the game, he wouldn't tell us that.
Yeah, he wouldn't say. Of course, he wouldn't say that.
Because it's a big club. You can't tell me that Ede and Ade are the same thing.
Ederson and
you're not telling me that you didn't look back.
Different.
Exactly. You're not telling me you didn't look back to see that that they had prepared.
And the number was sent.
Exactly. Now, Ederson and Ademola, because the thing is,
do you think Ade and Ede? Oh goodness.
No, if you're reading it in English, then maybe it makes some sense because they say Ademola Lookman, Ade. That's what they call him in the company. Him, Calvin Massey, Alex will be them in it boys in Mandem like that. Ade.
Yeah.
But Eddie is not the same.
It's not the same.
And in Italian, it shouldn't even be the same thing.
So,
according to him, he's looking back. He's saying, "Take Eddie off," and them men are listening. How are you even as a technical team? Why is nobody going up there to contradict and say, "Why are you taking Eddie off?" Because you're the technical team.
And of course, he's supposed to see the number on the board before it.
That's what I'm saying. Even before it happens, there's a way you can call off a substitution. You can call it off. So unless it's maybe becoming Sir Alex Ferguson.
I've seen it over time. It's been done. when they want to change,
Gianpiero
they just go back.
Gasparini wants to give it this aura that he's all in all, and he says it and he's done. So maybe he's out there,
Yeah, just
take Adi off, then he goes back.
okay.
He doesn't turn around to confirm it, because if
I
he's
could
in
excuse him for that.
if he's in a heated position, he'd be looking every. Like, let's say, for instance, Ruben Amorim. If Amorim says take him off, he's looking to confirm because he doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah.
United is in shambles right now. But maybe because he trusts his technical team, he expects Atalanta, the people working with him knows that when he says Ade, he means Ade, not Eddie. But that's a baby, it's a schoolboy error.
Yeah.
The fact that he can't pronounce your name is good enough. Cost you a game. It's stupid.
And it's affecting their titleship in that competition.
I think for Lukman, he's probably had enough right now, because why are you telling me that I'm off the game because you can't pronounce my name well enough?
So,
And I've been working with you for how many years now? You can't tell when they say Eddie and when they say Ade. It's you. Just say Mola. Just say Mola. Let's know that you're saying Lukman. Or just call him Lukman, for God's sake. What is Ade? What do you mean Ade?
Lukman,
what is the meaning of Ade?
Syllables. Lukman.
Call his full name, for God's sake. Ademola. If you're going to say in England, Ademola in Nigeria, Ademola
really
in England.
Do Lukman.
In fact, I'm thinking of it in sleep now. But the fact that just one letter cost you a game. Ade, Eddie. What? Now, you people are coming up with better excuses. Yeah. That's a joke. No one is eating that. In fact, at the start of the show, I probably wanted to believe it. But now that deep them thought about it, that's a joke. That's not an excuse.
Wow, it was so sad.
It's not sad. I think nobody supports them that much anymore. At the start of the season, we were anti-Napoli because of what they did to us, and they supported Lukman. But now the love is no more there. Lukman wants to leave the club anyway.
Yeah, he wants to.
Exactly. So we just support him to the end of the season, and after that, everyone just picks their back from Atalanta and we're gone.
All right, so let's wrap up with the Super Eagles discussion of landing with the performance from Calvin Bassey. He was the player of the match.
He's always
against Liverpool. And of course, our very own Alex Iwobi had a goal and an assist.
I've got a problem with Iwobi, man. That's it. I really don't know. I always have a problem with him. Anytime I watch him at Fulham,
right.
I can't bear a player that doesn't keep consistency between clubs, between teams. Ah, God. Alex is giving me issues.
Why?
I don't know what we need to do for him anymore. I love him as a player. I mean, I love him as a person. But I just don't know what it is we need to do for him at Nigeria.
Okay,
at Fulham, he's that good. He's playing as a winger, as a number 10. He's given that freedom, the baton, do what he wants on the ball.
But he's not given the opportunity in the national.
He's given the opportunity. We find a way to keep playing him. Left to me, I'm not playing him. Left to me, I'm not inviting Iwobi. I'm not inviting Boniface. Both of them, they've got no business in the national team. But because Iwobi is that creative, we can't waste that talent because we can't find an answer for him. We have to keep inviting him. Now, what do you do with him? I thought Eric Chia would play a two-man rigid midfield. Probably Nyeka and Ndidi put Iwobi up front, giving him a number 10 shirt. Do what you want, go where you want. But it still doesn't work like that. They're still playing. I think the last game we played Lukman and Iwobi in midfield. That's two borers in midfield. And Iwobi showed that he's not in any position to be somebody that is relied upon to win the ball back. He doesn't do that business. If he loses the ball, he's got Lukic and maybe Pereira or the other players in midfield that can win the ball back for him. And I enjoy if he loses the ball, we're dead.
It's done.
Because it's just Ndidi, and sometimes Ndidi likes exploring.
Yeah.
So we should look for a way to just... We've had this conversation before. I don't want to stay on it. But Iwobi, the headache is there because the first thing you think about is he doesn't play like this for the Super Eagles. So is he actually playing for us? Or is his heart here? Yeah. Or his heart is there in England? It's a question, and it's a headache I don't want to have. It should be a headache for the coach. But as players and supporters, you have to also think, is there jazz here that is not like letting him work or something? Because he doesn't work on Osimhen. Osimhen scores everywhere.
Yeah, he does. And
Lukman plays everywhere. So he's not a young man. He's at the end of his career. He's pushing 30 now. Coach's cousin, I was in nephew or niece or nephew. She figured that out at the moment, but he still hasn't. That's the only problem with Iwobi.
Let's come down to the Nigeria Premier League.
Nigerian Premier Football League.
Match day 32. It was chaotic.
I have one thing to say, though. I have one thing to say. Do they not take breaks in the league? I mean, they just keep playing every single weekend.
The one time they play was the President Federation Cup. It's crazy.
We need more planning in the league. Proper planning. The players are going through so much.
A lot.
And they don't tell you.
And most of them travel on roads.
All of them. It depends. Is it 4
just 5? Few flights here and there scattered around. It's not like consistently. Just
I like at least they are playing all the games. At least. So we don't hear any outstandings or why is the league on break?
It's better this season than last season. We had so many outstandings.
No, we didn't have too many.
That was not settled until almost at the end of the league.
Look, I think at the end, as far as it's a bit of progression, positive, just take it and go. Because at least it's positive this season. So the schedule might be tight, but at least they're getting it done. So that's it. It's good enough.
So the fixture for last week was so crazy. It was more of like the table toppers against the table toppers, like in between, right? And then the relegation zones fighting against themselves. In the relegation zone, let's go about Nasarawa United playing Aqua United. Going into that game, Aqua United boasted of getting a win
Have you got a problem?
away.
Why would you be a very important player in the squad? I'm sorry to cut you short, but you're getting a red card in 10 minutes. How? You're a professional player, for God's sake. Endurance, Ebediri. Why are you getting a red card inside 10 minutes? And
just then, starting time of the game.
Because before the game starts, you look at the head-to-head, and you think Nasarawa United had. In all fairness,
they were going to lose that game.
No, I think Aqua. You think Nasarawa will lose the game?
Yeah,
exactly. No, either that or Aqua will go down for a draw because the only team, the team in the MPFL that have considered the most goals against Aqua United in one game was Nasarawa United, 6-2 in 2022. I think February-ish, like that. And even at that, it's not that often you see Aqua suffer in Nasarawa's hands. And in 2023, they had beaten them away from home, 3-0. It was a game that was streamed on TV, and everyone saw it. They couldn't believe their eyes. So there was so much hope before the game started. I just don't understand how.
And the coach was like so assured of the win because
because
it was coming from five unbeaten
in the league, longest active. Yes,
yeah. It was. I felt so bad.
To cut the story short, I just think it's just they didn't prepare well enough. And one mistake cost them. They lost 2 goals to 0. Pick your bags up, come back, prepare for the next game. Because now they're back in relegation. But they need to... It's less than 7 games now left in it.
Yeah.
And they should be doing that again.
Just 6 games left. Yeah. And another team we had Lobby Stars playing. Why was it so? Lobby Stars playing against Sunshine. Both teams are like down in table.
Nah,
and they ended up 1-1.
Aqua are not that horrible as Lobby.
Yeah, Lobby so bad. I feel by now they should confirm that relegation.
Lobby's one is not even alleged. This one, the media officer confirmed it on radio.
Yeah,
that their players are fixing matches. Yes, because they know that they're gone.
Yeah.
So the only reason that players will ever want to fix matches in this league, it's not the first time it happened, is when. That's why whenever we talk about Nigerian football, I say pray for us because we're actually suffering. We're going through a lot. If God is not helping us in this league, we're just done for. This is not a league. The people who run the league believe that as far as the ball is kicked, it's a league. This is not a league.
Yeah.
Because if I'm in charge, I'm not watching my league while listening to radio, and then I'll go and watch Man City play Man United.
They don't know what is happening in the league most times.
At least they do. The one that baffles me is when to find out what happens in the FA Cup, they have to wait for the NFF communication department, and it's always on WhatsApp. We don't even have a handle for it. No social, no nothing.
So sad.
And the only reasons why our players will ever fix a game is when they sit back and look and they see that there's no progression.
There's no hope,
There's no hope. The board is not supporting them. Salaries are not being paid. They don't got a good home ground to play. Maybe there's no equality from the rep because maybe the refs are not being paid or anything like that. Whenever they sit down and look at all the options and weigh all the options, and there's no way for them to fight out, they tell the games. And they do collectively. That's why I say it's not easy to be a player in the league because you have to be an actor and a professional player.
Yeah.
When the time is right, you have to be an actor.
Yes.
And course. FIFA does not support any match being sold or anything. So there has to be something to be done to the players that sell games. But what happens? As always, nothing ever is followed up in Nigeria. As far as it does not bring money, they don't follow it up. So you know that lobby stars are fixing matches. What is the NFF doing towards that? To discipline it, to stop it? What are they doing? They're not doing anything. So now if you play lobby stars,
just sweep it under the carpet.
Solution is to beat them in the FA Cup. How do you knock lobby stars out of the FA Cup? I think they almost won in 2015 against Aqua United.
So sad.
And they got knocked out in the round of 32 against who? Solution is wow, serious. So their story season is horrible. There was a time I used to think of lobby as one of the big 6 or big 7. Well, I think big 8 because there's no big 6.
Big 19.
No. I think I see what you did there. But I'm talking about like big in terms of what you normally do because in the area of 2015 to 2019, they actually were always very good and reliable. In 2015, they went to the FA Cup final, lost to Aqua United in Lagos. They were always pushing then 16, 17, close enough, top 10. And then 2018, they were given a title because the league ended abruptly.
Yeah.
Very good that season. And 2019, they went to the Champions League and they actually went far. Group stages, I think, yes. But ever since then, it's gone up. And it always
Down
has
the
to do with
drain.
leadership. It's
Yeah.
always going to Nigeria's problem is leadership. For Kwa United,
Yeah.
the solution is pick yourself up, win the next game, try and do better on the road again. For Lobby Stars, they're gone. No saving them, they're gone.
So Rivers State closed down the gap between
They
themselves.
just close the
and-
gap down for the meantime. The league is gone to Remo. I like the fact that they actually
It's 5 points, and we have 6 games.
Remo have a game in hand.
Oh.
If they win the game, it goes back to 8 points. And I think everyone knows that Remo won the title. Nobody's been matching them man up there because the way Remo's team is set up, you can't beat them if you don't know something about the team. Finidi George, Daniel Gomodede, they have met each other before in the league. Finidi George, I'm very sure, did his homework and got everything planned out perfectly before that game was it. And it was just 1-0.
Yeah, it was hard. I saw the clips from
Exactly.
the game. Yeah,
So Rivers would keep their pride because they're trying to preserve the fact that they won the league with 10-point gap. And I think that they also won. I think it was 60 point. What was the gap? They had the highest tally when they won the title, and that's what they're trying to
I think
protect.
it was 7-7.
I guess, but that's all they have to protect left. That's everything.
That's
That's everything. Remo have won the title. Same thing with Liverpool.
Because it's looking like the chances are slim.
My dear, just don't worry. Just leave it. Who is
Who
going to? And this is what you did there. Arsenal fan, sorry. It's here you guys had a 1-1. Was it 1-1 draw?
It was a draw.
At least they picked up a point in the title race. Anyway, Rivers, I like the fact that Rivers have come back to themselves. I think there was a time that Shooting Stars took over from them.
Yeah.
And they had gone to 4th or 5th, but they have fallen back and they've gone back to 2nd.
I don't think any other team is beating them to that second position.
Yeah, I think
I'm
just see Finidi George on the continent again, a more chance to improve himself.
Okay.
I'm sure that he's probably learning a bit more to probably be considered for Super Eagles in the future.
Nah, he
Even
shouldn't
if he's
go
under
back
17.
there. He shouldn't go back there.
You know, even national
Not even
team,
under
national
13
team.
or 15, he shouldn't.
It's a legend. It's a legend, isn't he?
See, sometimes we use positions and titles to just water down our...
In the first place, he should never have been given a Super Eagles job today. If it was in 5 years in the future, obviously, yes, maybe he's got more experience then, but 2 seasons in the MPFL and you're giving, that was a joke. And now look at where you are in the World Cup qualifying. Anyway, for Rivers, I love that they're back up there. Remo, gone with the title. They've gone with the title. It's gone.
Shooting Stars at home. That game against Ikorodu City.
There's a popular Nigerian saying that goes like this: first to do, not the pain. It's like first to do, not the pain. I'm not supporting Shooting Stars for anything, but I miss this kind of thing in the Nigerian league. You guys are too peaceful. They were too peaceful. Last season was Rangers Aimba.
Yes.
There's nothing like that. There's no beef because both of them fell off. Okay, Rangers have not fallen off that much. I think both of them are still in the FA Cup, and I think Aimba fell off in the league. Rangers are definitely not winning the title.
Yeah,
it's a problem of can I get 3rd place?
Yeah.
And that's what they're looking for. But the competition between Aimba and Rangers last season was massive.
Yeah.
That's why that derby got that fight happen in Enugu. But this season, you have to applaud both Ikorodu and Shooting Stars. They've actually gone up there. When was the last time you got a Lagos team go that far?
3rd and 6th, yeah.
Yeah, but
Shooting Stars is 3rd.
I'm not even looking at. I'm not looking at 6th as like I'm looking at the fact that Ikorodu have performed beyond expectation, and you now look at it as clash of 2 big teams. Ikorodu can never be that big in Lagos. You're looking at big teams, stationary stores, Julius Berger, BBC Lions. Those are big teams. There's Sporting Lagos are not there. Forget what is Sporting Lagos? Sporting Lagos are not there. I'm not talking about Ikorodu City and maybe United. They're not even. They're not. But they're just a Lagos team. So now when Lagos faces Ibadan, I never thought that actually they can have beef. But that was beef. That is what you call beef. I wasn't the thank God. Someone not in my head as something.
I don't like chaos. Whenever the last time I went for an
I like chaos,
game,
but I don't want any human life to be involved. NNL game.
NWFL.
Ha.
They fought.
Probably have to go and watch the game then.
I'm telling you, they fought though. Serious fight.
It shows that the football is actually serious.
There's something that happened in this game between Shooting Stars and Ikorodu City. They had to escort the ref.
The Shooting Stars
and the linesmen.
Yeah. The Shooting Stars. The thing about Nigerian football, or let's just football in the whole, yeah. If it's a derby or a beef kind of match, you have to follow up from the return leg. You can't just people that are complaining about this thing are the one that do not know what happened in the first leg. If you were there in the first leg and saw everything that happened in Lagos, the way that Shooting Stars said they were treated, and what happened in the game actually, behind the scenes, before the match, after the match, whatever, everything that happened, Listen, it's literally Nigeria versus Libya all over again. This is Nigeria versus Libya, but this time no one was in a plane and no one was to go and land somewhere else. Because this is what happened in Lagos. And I tweeted it, I said, what Ikoristy did, they will see what they wanted to do and they will get it. The only thing is that thank God no one lost their life. And I love the fact that everyone there in Ibadan actually organized themselves to make sure this happened. It shows that people actually follow the league and have things in their mind. Just that I don't like it that it was that chaotic and that violent. But
I don't like
if they had come with like placards and like a tifo saying,
it would have been better.
exactly, like a
Banter
tifo
is okay in
and maybe
football.
flares in the air.
Banter is okay.
Yeah,
but
but
when it
stoning a
resorts to
bus,
fight,
light to the stake, it was extreme. And we say bad publicity is good publicity, but I think that was just too
this
extreme.
was not
It was
good
really
publicity
extreme.
at all.
And
This was
whatever the
terrible for
MPFL,
the league.
whatever the league will say about it, they have to act swift
And
and
even,
fast.
and even residents were very much against what Shooting Stars fans were doing.
Yeah. And one thing I like is that
Hitting on the bosses and even
like-
players. That was
like what happened last season with Regis and Aimba, it was one tribe. Exactly. So that you're Nigerian. We're Nigerians. People in this country like to escalate things. If it was Shooting Stars against Rangers, they will bring intertribal wars. They'll say Igbo Yoruba. But last season, God, see this, I love this league. I went to watch Rangers in about earlier this season, and I heard things. I don't understand Igbo, but I heard things in English.
Yeah.
I heard someone in the stand say last season he was there. He went to watch the game as thinking that it was Igbo brother against Igbo brother. But the fight that happened made them remember what his father told him, that these people are rivals. That there's no such thing as brothers. And the same thing Shooting Stars do. They are not brothers. You should not be. There's nothing like brothers in football.
yeah.
AC Milan, Inter Milan, it's only Nigeria. You know, sister team. What the hell is a sister team? Shooting Stars don't have a sister team. You don't have what are sister teams? Atletico Madrid, Real are not sister teams. AC Milan, Inter are not sister teams. There's no such thing as sister teams.
Manchester United, Manchester City.
What?
Not six systems.
But in Nigeria, you hear Aqua Dakada sister. Sister what? It should not be. But obviously,
Please,
it's different
no
here.
to violence.
Not to violence, but for the fact that there's
I promised myself I won't go for
rivalries.
NWFL game again because that thing did. I had trauma after that game.
Actually, you have to go support
I was
them.
escorted. It was serious.
You escorted. I mean, they first me doing.
I was escorted.
They escorted you out of somewhere before me.
Security
That's what I'm saying. They escorted you out of somewhere before me. That's actually that's a big achievement.
It's so natural.
How many people do you think have been escorted out of places here?
I don't like it. Nothing.
No, but look at the bright side. You were
exciting.
escorted out of somewhere, and you didn't even have to pay them. Like a celebrity.
No, my life was so important. But
Anyway,
that's
to just conclude on Shooting Stars,
someone was saying that he's waiting for the 3-point deduction. Then a Shooting Stars fan was saying, it's not even 3 points that he wants to see deducted. He said he wants 30 points deducted. That was
listen, the entire thing is, I think what we have to applaud even more is that Ecuador held them to a golden draw, despite everything that was happening. If we were not center, people were beaten up. There was a lot of violence, and I know that because
and
thank God I wasn't there.
Was attacked.
Listen, I've been in Ibadan before to watch a match. That place is not a typical MPFL venue. There is a lot of anger in the air. I don't mean this in any way bad to Yoruba people or to Ibadan people, but you don't go there if you're not a man to watch a game. God, they had a draw against Lady Stars, and it was like they were going to kill people. Not literally kill, but they're too passionate. That's why they're the fans of the season last season. They won the award for best fans of the season. So they are really passionate. They have an ultra. They have supporters, journalists, media, fan clubs, supporters clubs, everything. And they came out for the game because it's a Southwestern derby. Yoruba club against Yoruba club. No time for, my brother, what do you call brother in Yoruba? I don't even know. Maybe ask people behind the scenes. But no time for that. Show this thing. Don't stab somebody. Don't throw something. But show the rival. Next thing, they'll do it again. And Ikorodu are going to be in the league. Ikorodu will do their own again. I just hope that, the only problem is that Ikorodu still not playing Ikorodu. That's the problem. Why every Lagos team plays in one stadium? And that's small stadium. Lagos should be the London of the Nigerian league. You know what London is like? Yeah. London has so many clubs, so many stadiums. Lagos should have so much more. Lagos should have at least 5 stadiums. All of them world class.
That big. Yeah, they should.
And how many people? Almost 10, 15 million people in that city, and you have just one tiny stadium.
Where both the male and female
imagine
games are being played.
NNL, NWFL, MPFL, and they also want to carry back and go there. God forbid.
President Federation, of course.
God forbid. I think thank God the stadium is not even spoiled at the moment.
Alright, so that is it for the MPFL. Let's head into the NWFL.
I'm just going to check on two teams, okay?
Okay.
Because we're out of time, and I want to check on two teams. Tell me about Ibomenjo. I heard Ibomenjo
Ibomenjo
beat someone
lost.
17 0.
That was in the press. Yeah.
How did you beat someone 17
That
0?
was at the highest one.
Because I saw that and I was like, wow, that's impressive.
If they could convert that energy, I feel that it was just because of the team they played. I said it. That I have watched them play. They're not that good.
So they lost in the league.
They lost. Yeah, they lost.
Away.
They went away. Yes, they played against Bielsa Queens 2-0. They lost.
Obviously, you're going to lose. And who's topping the tables in the other leagues?
It's two groups, right?
Yeah,
So we have in Group A, we have Edo Queens sitting on top next to Remo Stars, and they're playing each other. Remo Stars, Edo Queens, the next game.
Wow, that's actually looking. I must find a way.
That game, the first leg ended in a draw. Clean sheets for both teams.
I think it might end as a draw again.
Yeah, I'm feeling so.
I'm just really.
Two teams are like very powerful.
I'm just really looking out for Ibomenjos. I want to see if they'll get relegated.
They won't be relegated. They're sitting 6 out of 8, and it's just the last team that gets relegated.
Inshallah, we'll be there.
All right, so let's progress. The NNL resumed last week.
Again, I'll put my points of focus. What are the Akwa Ibom teams doing? Because there's no Ministry of Sport again in this state. We heard what happened in the ongoing NDC games. Oh, God. How do you give an athlete 5,000 for upkeep? You don't have shame. I just want to go too far, but just you can read our results. But the emphasis on Akwa Ibom teams.
The Gospel Akwa Ibom lost to First Bank 2-1, and then Dakada played a draw to 1472 ST.
But let's for obviously our fans, listeners want to, viewers want to know the rest of the results, so probably can read that.
Okay, yeah. We have just few games. Doma United.
I remember them. Yeah. What happened?
They won 2-0. They won Supreme. They won Sporting Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then of course my babies Sporting Lagos. They won Rivers FC 1-0. I was shocked. So we have. Let's talk about the NLO. Yes, 300 teams. It's resumed. It started. 300 teams in the NLO competing for just 8 slots to be promoted to the NL. Please just help me with that.
I will not help you with anything.
Let me process.
I have exams. This is my head for. So you're going to say process what?
I want to process. How can 300 teams be fighting for just 8 slots?
The problem is
that a percentage.
Honestly, as far as they're getting it done, it's okay because most of those teams they don't have what it takes to be in the NNL. Most of them don't have what it takes. Have you seen a typical NNL team? NNL team should not be playing football. Exactly. So not everyone in the NNL even has what it takes to be an MPFL team. How much more about NNL? Most of them are just there to just be like academies. So it's okay. It's okay. Sure.
Let's wrap up with the ongoing Niger Delta Sport Festival. It's wrapping up already.
I'm just going to just talk about one thing.
Okay.
The thing I heard about on the weekend, the people who did that should be ashamed of themselves. How do you give athletes 5,000 and take care of themselves?
They will allocate 30,000.
Exactly, and then
you keep back 25,000. How do you process that?
The corruption that goes on.
How stingy can you be?
The painful thing is that Akwa Ibom people were not this corrupt. I don't know where we learned it from. I've grown up here 20 years. I've not heard that kind of story before. I've heard that kind of corruption in other states in Nigeria. Like I used to say, oh, they so.
And you are the host state.
You are
treating your athletes
that did not have an apparatus or
one was disqualified from the women's, I think, wrestling.
The entire storyline is everybody in charge of sports in Akwa Ibom State. I'm not gonna say it. Unless you people fear God, you should be ashamed of yourselves. Because you're embarrassing everybody. You're embarrassing everybody. The only thing that this state has left is the legacy. That stadium and the champion and the rest of the stadiums. Because that's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Imagine it was a child that you gave 5,000 naira to. And they gave him 30K.
60,000.
They took 25K out. What's the excuse again?
There's no excuse.
This is bad news travels faster than good news. This is what will make this competition trend. They will not talk about the medal table. I don't think Akwa Ibom even top 2. Are they top 2?
Nah, we're number 6. Out of 9 states.
You're the host state.
I'm telling you.
Light camera action. Let's just move. Please. I prefer not to give myself issues.
Let's wrap up with this. This is news, right? Pirates coach exits.
Exactly.
The game.
I think you'd never think it happens
In the middle of the season.
No, it's going to be stepping out at the end of the season.
Okay, okay.
This is the thing about football. You have to understand that the thing starts and it ends, and it's about life as well.
Yeah.
So you just didn't see it coming, but when it comes, it hits you like a whirlwind. What was I doing that day again? I think I was in school. I came back in the evening. I saw the news. We had, traces of it going to happen, signs of it going to happen, but nobody actually thought that he would be leaving at the end of the season. So that's it. Jose Rivero leaves at the end of the season. Just boom, from nowhere. I don't think I've been able to say this about many managers in Africa or that have in African football. It doesn't have to be an African manager, but that man is up there. If you're talking about foreign managers in the continent, Javier Renard, maybe Joe Bonfre, if you remember him, and Jose Rivero. You don't come into African football as hard as it is, complex, as tough, with the tricks and everything, with the proper balanced pitches and what goes on, and still dominate. Rivero is that good of a manager. When he was brought in 2022 after the Confederations Cup final, that was played here in New York, Pirates lost, I think, to RS Berkane. Nakazi was the manager, had to step down, became their step manager. Rivero came in, wasn't that even a big name, but he had to deal with exits. Happy Jelle retiring, leaving, going to Sibospo United. I'm not sure what Sibospo, but I know that the captain left, and some other players left. Kwame Pepper left, and Ofori left. Little by little, Erasmus and many players, Mochware, Makarenge, so many players left. But he keeps bringing in names that play football the way he wants to. One thing about him is he doesn't depend on too many big name signings. He gets players, academy players, and transform them to superstars. Sasana, first of all, wasn't bought from any big team. The academy, the development, Cheyenne. They didn't spend too much on him either. I don't think they didn't spend that much on him. They brought him from the bench somewhere and just put him there, and it's saving them this season. Exactly. And the latest one, Bokazi. They call him. It's like one of his work machines. It's like a tractor or something. 19 years old. The last game he played, it was against Polokwane. He plays as a centre back. He's always a left centre back. But now, the way he plays, so much experience. Played with Sibisi in the defense. And then up front, there's Mofokeng, who everyone knows, Releboy Mofokeng. Rele Mofokeng, 20 years old, but plays like he's that youngster that makes you delight to watch the game. And Kota, who saved him in Algeria as well. Scored 3 goals in Algeria this season against Belouizdad, and scored twice against Belouizdad, and scored the other one against MC Algiers. Just activate themselves on Champions League night. Youngsters, mix them with the energy in the squad. Discovering players when he's not given a chance, and he believes in the youngsters. Harnessing talent, putting it out there in the limelight. You don't introduce young players like that in African football. African football is made of men, rigidity, strength, but he's using these youngsters and he's getting results. I think it's beyond impressive. And the fact that they believe in the team as well. He can set up any way they want to play. 3-4-3. That's how he played. That's how he played in Algeria. That's not how Pirates play. They play 4-2-3-1. But he's able to make a way, shift it. So that kind of team management, man management, he must be nominated for Coach of the Year in Africa at the next CAF Awards. If he's not nominated, that means they don't rate them. Because if that was Alakli, they would nominate the Alakli coach. Alakli has been Club of the Year how many years in Africa now? Pirates have to be Club of the Year this season because look at it. They're still in every tournament. The only tournament that knocked out was the Carling Black Label Cup, and it wasn't even that major of a tournament because Majesty won it. And so it's like there's something sort of a league cup in Sand. So they're in the FA Cup, the Netbank Cup, there's the title race, Champions League. They won the MTN8. It was like the Super Cup. These kind of things show you that that's the manager right there, and he's leaving. The only thing that will speak loud in his final ovation is winning all of those titles. And he's won the MTN8. He must win at least one more or two. And I don't know if I'm to pick. I can't pick. I probably said, okay, let them keep the Netbank Cup down because they've won it twice already in a row. But one title that Pirates haven't won in 12 years is the league title. And that's always because Sundowns do it. Sundowns and Big Biscuits won it at that time. But Mamelodi Sundowns won the title. If they could win the title, it would speak massively what he's done at Pirates at Orlando Stadium. And then the second star, I get Champions League. I don't think they would sleep there, Johannesburg, if they actually won the CAF Champions League, Orlando Pirates. From losing the CAF Confederations Cup and then 3 years in the making, winning the CAF Champions League, that would be amazing. They're still unbeaten in the tournament. They play MCL just later.
That away win was so...
Exactly. So,
but it was controversial though because there were things that went on behind the scene before the start of the game.
You talk about that as well. I'm seeing people talking about that, saying Pirates used juju.
Yeah.
Now my question is, if that was juju, why haven't they won the FIFA Club World Cup?
Okay.
Why haven't they won the league? Why is Sundown still winning the
They
league?
do that almost everywhere they go.
Exactly.
But
So now, if you're doing that, why are you still losing games? What kind of analogy do people have? So if you're having ultimate juju or your ultimate jazz, ultimate black magic, why haven't Pirates won the Club World Cup?
They're not funny enough. They're not African teams complaining a lot. The big force from every.
It's ridiculous because the same team that you're saying they use jazz to play, they still lost to Maromo Gallants. They still lost to what's the other team again? Cape Town City. What do you mean?
I'm just saying.
If it was black magic, then they must be winning everything.
Yeah.
That means okay, black magic can work in football. Then why are we not using it in Nigeria? Are you telling me we don't have traditional doctors here?
What are you saying?
There's no such thing as that. You're telling me that they're using black magic. Okay, black magic. Then why is Sundown still winning the league in South Africa? I don't. It's a made up story because you're a loser. A loser always finds an excuse. So you're telling me that it's okay. They did black magic in one post. Now in the first half you played, you couldn't score there. In the second half, they changed post for you. Why didn't you score in the other post? It doesn't make sense. So on a whole, Rivera leaving is going to be a problem. But I think everyone will trust the Pirates. The same board that found Jose Rivera for them in the first place will find another manager. There's names like Peter Mosimane, Rolando Mokwena, and I think Benny McCarthy as well. I think maybe Gavin Hunt. I don't know. But there's so many names up there that will be looked for and looked at. But for now, end the season on a high. Win the quadruple would be crazy. They have 3 trophies in sight now. Nedbank Cup, League title, Champions League. And believe me, if Pirates would win at least 2 of those trophies,
it would be a maybe for them.
I don't even know. I probably won't say something I would do, but maybe I'd buy a car or something. Or I'd shave my head. But I want it to happen, though. I'm just saying. I want it to happen. But just watch out for the team. They've been impressive all season.
So let's go with this. I forgot this from the Men's President Federation Cup. I was so excited when I saw that Beyond Limits
knocked out Rivers United.
It was so exciting to see.
I love it when they do the big things like that.
That was my best result of last week.
My only problem is that if Beyond Limits do win the FA Cup, would they let them play? Would they let them go all the way?
They'll do business as usual.
No, they can't do that. That's CAF competition. They would have to go. Bielsa won it in 2023 or 2022, and they went from the NNL. Bielsa United won it from the NNL. So they have the players, young players.
Yeah. They
have a home stadium, Ikene. But I don't think they can go all the way. We still have big teams there. Rangers are playing Bender Insurance again, and Pillars are out.
Ikorodu City is playing Beyond Limits. This round of 16 is going to be.
But it's like it's another Yoruba thing, but just that it's not that big of a game. Last season, both those teams were in NNL though.
Yeah.
But I'm expecting Igor to knock Beyond Limits out anyway.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be.
I don't want Beyond Limits. I don't want Beyond Limits to go to the final to play it because. Well, actually, they actually might make it.
They might make it
because they've gone to tournaments outside Africa and they've done very well. So who says Beyond Limits can't win the?
If they can't beat Rivers United.
No. I mean, like actually win the FA Cup and then go play the CAF Confederations Cup and then win the Champions League. Sorry, win the Confederations Cup. And you're not even in NPFL. It speaks so high of the investment of
They would have been in the NPFL if they had maintained their sport.
Heartland, we saw what you did, but
yeah, but I mean they're going.
We listen, we don't judge. And they're still going back.
Thank you so much. It was such a nice conversation with you today.
Always lovely.
A delight to have you on board.
And you promised us food last time.
I don't know, guys. I didn't see that on camera. Did you catch me?
Okay.
Exactly.
No Next time.
They didn't catch me.
And
I haven't promised anything yet either today.
No problem. So I'll also do it now.
Alright, so thank you so much, guys, for sticking with us on today's CenterKick review. Until we come your way again next time, do not forget to follow us across all our social media handles and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I am your host, Akane James, and it was a delight to have on board AJ, also known as Mr. Nigeria Football. Speaking of Mr. Nigeria Football, I'm Instagram now. So the whole issue that happened on Instagram, I've opened a new account. Guys, go on IG, the same name, Mr. Nigeria Football, Instagram, and drop a follow and let's interact today as well. Alright, till next time. Bye.